What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome back to another edition of MVP Games Live. And if you feel like I've done this twice today, it is because I have. So before we get into everything, before we get into housekeeping, a little bit of a heart-to-heart with you guys. So first off, Soapy and I did MVP Sports Live today. That was technically a complete train wreck. The stream kept disconnecting. We had disconnection issues on my end from Discord. It was not a good time to be had. So I was already frustrated at that. Then Soapy and I did about a half hour's worth of Games Live before I looked my dumb brain over to, my microphone doesn't have a mixer above it. So now we have to re-record some of Games Live because for the first 30 minutes, you could not hear me talk. You could hear Soapy talk. Great opinions from Soapy. But you could not hear me talk. So I'm telling you right now, this is heart-to-heart, anyone who's watching, this is going to be a shorter Games Live. We're going to kind of re-talk about something we were talking about because it was a good discussion and we were really getting into it. And that's Epic and Apple, or Epic versus Apple. And then we're going to talk about Tony Hawk, the remastered demo reactions, because really that's all we're going to have time for to talk about right now live because of the time constraints that we put ourselves into. Already out the gates, I want to say I'm sorry. I want to say this is not how I want this product to be for you guys. I'm sorry for the technical problems. We will do better. Good news is I've been streaming for 52 minutes now and no interruption. So restarting shit worked. Big brain Soapy knows how to do computers very well. Big dumb brain Ricky don't know how to do computers at all. But before we get into everything, Soapy, my beautiful co-host, how you doing today?
Doing okay. How are you?
You doing a lot better than I am?
I mean, I'd assume so, because I'm not the one who found out that I was muted the whole time.
God, it was just... There's a part of me that's glad I found out when I did, because could you imagine finding out after we did the entire episode? It would have just been a lost episode. We wouldn't have even restarted.
So yeah, I would have been like, I'm not fucking speaking on all this again.
So I'm glad. I am glad that I found out. But housekeeping, I'll keep it really simple. Number 1, Discord. Boom. Everyone can join it. Link is in Twitch chat already. And basically on YouTube, it's down below in the description. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is how you do that. Get interact with the show. Get access to the Discord voice channels. Get content a week early, and then become producers of the live shows, Sports and Games Live, each and every month. But Soapy, let's just get into it right away. Also, podcast services around the world. These will be on them. Thank you for your patience on that. But Soapy, let's get into it. And the first thing we're going to get into is the Epic Apple kind of debate. And basically what went down today, the first time I did this, I went on a whole big spiel. It's not going to be as epic as it was before, no pun intended. But earlier on Thursday, this is from Andrew Webster of The Verge, and it reads this. Today, Epic announced Fortnite Mega Drop, a permanent discount on V-Bucks and other cash purchases in the game up to 20%. The developer is quick to point out that this is not a sale. These are new prices for the in-app currency in both PC and console versions of the game. On mobile, however, things are a bit more complicated. On both iOS and Android, Epic has introduced a new direct payment system. Because of this, we had later on today on Thursday, Apple just kicked Fortnite off the Apple Store. This is from Nick Stat of The Verge. Apple has removed Epic Games' Battle Royale game Fortnite from the Apple Store after the developer on Thursday implemented its own in-app payment system that bypassed Apple's standard 30% fee. The decision marks a significant escalation in the feud between Epic and one of the world's most dominant mobile software marketplaces It also comes at an especially fraught time for Apple as the iPhone maker navigates antitrust concerns over its operation of the Apple Store and the rules it imposes on certain developers. Then we had Epic come back and they mocked Apple's most iconic ad in a possible revenge at Fortnite's App Store ban. And basically what they did was the old Apple commercial that was basically a ripoff of 1984 and referencing that, where someone threw like a computer at a TV screen and it broke. Fortnite did the same thing, except it was in Fortnite style, Fortnite people watching, a big Apple head with a bite taken out of it to reminisce the logo. They just did it chop for chop parody and basically put hashtag free Fortnite at the end. So Soapy, before we get into everything, just what are your opening thoughts about Epic versus Apple and the entire battle we've seen go on today?
Well, like I said, obviously before we found out that our brains are smooth,
no, mine is
I
smooth.
never thought
Yours is still wrinkly.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. It's got at least one wrinkle in it now.
Yeah.
I never thought in my entire life I'd be defending Apple on anything.
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, I have to actually defend Apple for once in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it pains me. It really does. I feel like a little bit of my soul being torn away.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of on the same side. And the reason being this is a battle of where do you think Epic stands with this? Why did they do what they did? Because Apple has these rules. They have them set out. We talked about on the show, I think it was end of last week or early this week, with the xCloud stuff of basically, hey, they're not letting xCloud onto iOS. And there's a ton of iOS users that were mad about that. And they should be, because they want to play their xCloud on their mobile device. And if you're an iPhone user, what are you going to just... Like, that's the thing also, where Apple is the power play there of... Apple's like, what are you going to do? Get a new phone? Like, most of the time you spend money on this iPhone, you're not going to have enough money just to say, fuck it, I'm buying an Android. You know what I'm saying? Because phones cost so much. Usually, like for me, I have this phone for like 2 to 4 years, basically. Before basically it becomes so slow that I can't fucking use it anymore. But there are people that are on Epic's side, and I wanted to get their opinion out to kind of talk about it even further. And one of the opinions I read off the first time we did this, the lost episode that no one's going to see, was Greg Miller at Kind of Funny Games. And he had a thread on Twitter that read like this: I'm seeing a lot of people say stuff like, why should I cheer for Epic? They're already rich. Which of course is true, but I think misses one of the points of why they're doing this. Namely, they're the only ones big enough to do this and actually make a difference. Thread. This is exactly like I'm not joking, Taylor Swift taking on Spotify. Taylor didn't need the money, but she was a big enough voice that her making a statement brought the issues to the masses. Taylor/Epic don't need more money per transaction, but smaller artists certainly do. They can throw around their weight to make things better for other people. Of course, they're going to make more money too, but maybe I'm just being naive. I also think they want to help. I think there is a part of Epic that says, we've made a bunch of money, so we can fight fights others can't and make moves others won't. More like the Unreal Rev Share or the EGS Rev Share. I thought it was BS xCloud couldn't come to iOS. But did canceling my Apple Arcade sub really drive that point home? Did, in the grand scheme of things, a few hundred of us tweeting about xCloud even register on the Apple radar? Fortnite being removed does exactly what Apple doesn't want. It puts the rev share dispute elsewhere. Your local news will cover this because kids love Fortnite and parents love happy kids. xCloud wasn't going to do that. Comixology wasn't going to do that. I don't know, man. I get that fighting, winning, and changing, this helps Epic make a bunch of money, but I also think Epic wants to help other game devs make a bunch of money, or a bunch of money. Hashtag free Fortnite. Soapy, listening to the other side, because this is the one example I found of someone on that side. Is Epic really fighting out for the little guy, or are they just trying to make more money?
I think they're trying to make more money. And the reason why is, why help your competition? It's, as much as people may think, like, oh, you know, like, little shitty, like, apps on the Apple Store aren't competing. The whole thing is, no matter if it's the same size as your game or not, it's still competition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the reason why they'd actively try to help their competition. Because obviously, it's, people need to also realize Apple needs to make money from their App Store too. Because otherwise, they're not benefiting from you being on their platform.
Yeah.
This is the way a company works. It's the same thing with Spotify, of where, like, Spotify will take a cut of your money because you are on their platform. I just don't see a world where Epic's in the right here. They've violated the rules of the App Store, which is already a big no-no. Like, yes, people are going to be outraged because now Fortnite's not on Apple. Congratulations. Get a fucking Android. They're better.
Well, here's the thing. I just have an update about this. This article is fresh off the presses about an hour ago. Fortnite for Android has also been kicked off the Google Play Store.
Okay, fuck, never mind. Buy somewhere else.
You can still install it directly from Epic, however. So this is coming from The Verge also. This is Dieter Bahn writes, following its removal from the Apple App Store, Fortnite has also been kicked off the Google Play Store for Android. Earlier today, Epic Games stuck out an update, blah, blah, blah. We know about that. I just said it. Now, Google is in the conversation. As with Apple, Google requires that games use the Google Play system for in-app purchases. Although the Play Store's rules are somewhat more lax than Apple's when it comes to in-app purchases, Google does draw the line at games. It's quite clear-cut. Developers offering products within a game downloaded on Google Play are providing access to game content must use Google Play in-app billing as the method of payment. Google's system takes a 30% cut, just like Apple's does. Epic's update earlier today ran afoul of that rule, and while Google took longer to make a decision to ban Fortnite over it than Apple, both companies reached the same conclusion. Here's the statement from Google. The open Android ecosystem lets developers dispute apps through multiple app stores. For game developers who choose to use the Play Store, we have consistent policies that are fair to developers and keep the store safe from users. While Fortnite remains available on Android, we can no longer make it available on Play because it violates our policies. However, we welcome the opportunity to continue our discussions with Epic and bring Fortnite back to Google Play. So the thing that I think of is, I agree with you, where I want to be like Greg. I do. Like, Greg is a great guy, and although I don't know him personally, Greg, I would love to one day know you personally. But I watch a lot of videos, and like, I'm on the side of like what fans of MVP might think of us, where you watch videos of us and you're like, oh, I know Ricky. I know his personality because I watch him each and every day on YouTube or Twitch. That's what I kind of feel like with Greg, where it's like, I've watched him so much, I kind of know what sides he's going to take and what he thinks because I've watched him for what, 2+ years, 3+ years now. Thank you, Mark Weber, for getting me hooked on Kind of Funny, because it's your fault I found them. But I mean, I want to believe that Epic is fighting for the little guy, but everything that I see in this world shows me that the little guy never gets defended. Like, you look at, like, and maybe this is like I would love to be naive about it, but like this is a realistic truth that I think of, where it's like, why would you fight for the little guy, then line your own pocket? Because it's the right thing to do? No, companies usually don't do the right thing to do. That's why it's called the corporate way, or that's why it's called like the business, like business, because business is not, basically every time I've met someone in business, it's, you got to drop your morality at the door. Because if you're going to think morale wise, you're not going to make a lot of money. And that's what I think here, where the only thing where I do agree with Greg is that by Apple kicking it off of the Apple Store, this makes it a bigger issue of more people, I think, will be on Epic's side, because they're going to be like, well, why'd you kick it off? No one's going to be looking at this as like, oh, Epic is trying to make more money. Epic is going to seem like they're in the right, even if they truly are in the wrong. And I'm not saying they're truly in the wrong, but trying to make more money would be truly in the wrong. But I'm not saying I know that, because I'm not in the boardroom. The bad thing for Google and Android, though, Soapy, is on Apple, you just can't play Fortnite. On Android, you can still play Fortnite. So for me, I think of the Google side, what does kicking it off of Google Play really do? It only hurts Google, am I right? Did Soapy get disconnected?
No, my dumbass forgot I was muted.
Okay. I'm sitting there going, oh my God, he's muted. Is it muted? Is it not muted? Is he disconnected? I'm a little jumpy
I'm
today.
just dumb. No, I'm just really dumb. I mean, it hurts Google a lot because people are still going to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't really make sense to me. Like, you think like they would completely wipe it off the hardware?
Yeah.
At least you'd think.
Or
Apparently
that
not.
you couldn't play it through Epic even.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they have that type of power, but like, for instance, they could block like that IP specifically from their phones and like their hardware and everything. So I don't know. It's this. All of this is just such a weird, like, do you think Epic's better than other corporations argument?
Yeah.
Because like with the Taylor Swift stuff, the whole thing is there's no way in hell that was a morality thing for Taylor Swift. I want more money from my music.
Yeah. Like, it's my music. Why are you taking a cut for my music? Where, like I said, I want to be naive with this, but I can't. The xCloud. Now, if we wanted to talk about the xCloud thing, that to me was a different discussion. That is kind of BS. Because it just sounds like Apple basically doing the same thing here of like, oh, well, we want money here. We're not getting money here. So this is a violation of our rules. Where here it's basically Epic is violating the rules. We ain't going to stand for that. And I don't know how this gets spinned. I do know this, though. The one thing Greg is 100% right with is this will be covered on local newses. It's
just going to be news. It's not news eye. You don't put an I at the end of everything.
Siri. But basically, it will be covered by news stations. Because Fortnite is big. Fortnite is that big. I just don't know what comes out of this. Like Greg said, canceling his Apple gaming account, does that really do anything? No. One person does it. Who gives a shit? Apple's making a ton of money, and they've diversified so much that one person doing that doesn't matter. A few hundred people tweeting about xCloud or tweeting free Fortnite is not going to do anything, I feel like. The only thing that's going to help is if you hurt their pockets. And guess what? How many people that play Fortnite that have an Apple are just going to stop using their Apple altogether? And are enough people going to do that to where it hurts Apple's pockets? That's the only way this gets solved. That's the only way. And I just don't see it being that much of a way. I feel like this will hurt Epic and Fortnite more than it will hurt Apple.
Yeah, and especially with the point of like how many people are going to stop using their phone.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to stop using their phone
Because of how expensive they are.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. Some people drop $1,000 on launch day for an Apple phone that has a slightly better camera. Congratulations, you got hoed. You are the. I'm sorry, dude. Like, yeah, like I'm sorry, dude. I don't like shit talking people. I mean, I say that as in sports live. I basically call anyone who talks about COVID is just fucking dumb.
Yeah, that's different though.
But like, it's just, yeah, it's people need to understand. Like I almost went on a rant about how Apple's just a shit company.
Mm-hmm.
It's with this situation, people are going to take Epic's side because they're like, oh well, I want Fortnite back. Mm-hmm. Understand? It doesn't matter if you want Fortnite back. The problem right now is, do you let a company or corporation the size of Epic break the rules? Because the rules are set in stone.
Yeah.
The rule does not move for anyone. The only ones who get to move the rules is Apple, and that's because they made them.
And once you let one person kind of break the rules, then it's kind of like I go back to my my days teaching of, let's say there's a troublemaker and they're breaking the rules and you're hounding them each and every day. And you think in your mind, well, I have no sympathy for you because you don't care about the rules. But then there's the good kid that does everything right. One day technically breaks the rule. You technically have to follow the rule that you set. Like you can't give one kid special treatment for technically breaking the rule, no matter how much you quote unquote like them. And this is the same thing here. Is like, if Apple let Epic slide, then more people would be like, oh, well, we're going to do that too. And then you can't have that. That'll lose you money and it'll make your rules mean nothing because you're not enforcing them.
Yeah, and that's why I really hope some people take the rational approach. Like, obviously, with corporations and everything, you know, everyone can have their own opinion on corporate America and just the corporate world in general.
Yeah.
But obviously understand, corporations have to operate differently than, like, a mom-and-pop shop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a mom-and-pop shop, like, if, let's say you went to, I don't know, well, let me just make up a random thing, like, Bramble's Butt Plug Emporium or something like that.
Why has it got to be a butt plug, man?
I don't know, but like, let's say you go there and you're selling your products.
Do I need the boink you horny Soapy? Do I have to boink you right now?
You hit me with that. I got the instant rebuttal to it. Don't you even test me.
Get that nookie, Soap. Get that nookie.
Oh my fucking god. But no, but like, if, for instance, and let's say there's a corporation that's like that. We're not going to come up with a name for that. I just had a random thing at first.
Let's say like it. Butt Plug International. Let's go with it.
Yeah, Butt Plug Incorporated. But
your point.
For instance, yeah, it's basically the mom and pop shop will treat you different than a corporation will, because a corporation is like, listen, this is the rule, no break it. Like, no doing that, stick to this, and you're fine. Mom and pop shop may be more lenient, because let's say you are the biggest provider for them, they may let you be a little lenient. Like, let's say they order 500 butt plugs and you send 499. Corporation, they ain't having any of that. They're like, no, fuck you, you fucked up. Like, and you're like, we demand reparations.
Yeah.
A mom and pop shop may be like, man, you know, that's unfortunate, but you know, they are our biggest provider. So it's one of those things of, people need to know how that works. It's corporations, like obviously some corporations, if they're working with each other, will let stuff slide. Apple's at the point of like, okay, all eyes are on us. We let one person slip, like you said, the little guys are going to start doing it.
Not even that, other big guys are even going to do it too.
Yep, because the other big guys are going to be like, well, you let Epic do it, why can't I do it?
Bingo. Then you got a can of worms and nobody likes worms. Unless you're fish.
Yeah. True. But it's because then it leads into the point of where they can then maybe not take legal action because I think
Mhm.
that's way too extreme.
Yeah.
But like they could raise that point of like, oh hey, they let Epic get away with this,
Hmm.
but we can't do that. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's just such a weird situation to
Hmm.
be in.
I can't wait to see how it unfolds though, because literally this is a story that we're talking about that if we would do this at like, so originally, like I told Dave when we came up with these live shows, I was like, ideally I'd want to do them at like 11 noon central, like early enough in the day to where like you can talk about yesterday's news before you have new news. But like the way we do these, because we do them so late because we have to, we literally get to talk about something that just unfolded all of Thursday. This was
Yeah.
Thursday in gaming, was all of this. And the next thing, we're going to leave that there, package it up in a box, because really we talked the hell out of it. We're going to move on, though, and this was something yesterday that I said we'd talk about today. We cut everything else. Will we talk about it tomorrow? Probably not, depending on how busy of a Friday it is. Maybe some of the stuff that we didn't talk today fits in tomorrow. But I want to talk about Soapy, the Tony Hawk remake demo, because so they've been sending out copies of this to different creators, which in the future, if you want to send me a copy, go ahead and send me a copy. I'd love to review future games. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, this one, I don't think it's Activision, is it? Is the remake
Uh,
Activision? Because I was going to
I
say, I thought one of them,
think
let's see, Tony Hawk 1, 2 remake. Let's see. Do we have I'm going to look up the developer right here on the show. Yeah, it is Activision. So Activision and Vicarious Visions. If you ever want to send me a free copy in the future, I'd love to review it. Just throwing it out there. I know why I didn't right now, because we just started this game show about a week ago, but the demos are out, and Soapy, the reviews are astounding when it comes to this game. And one of the ones I'm watching, because this is one of the videos I actually got to watch of the demo, is yet again, I'm mentioning them for the second time on the show. Kind of funny. Tim Geddes and Barrett. What's his first name? Fuck. At Sad Boy Barrett on Twitter. Forgetting Barrett's last name or first name. Can't remember if it's his last name or first name. He's barely on camera though. But the thing that they talked about the demo, and I'm just watching their demo now. It looks beautiful. It looks like they've updated things, obviously from the 90s and 2000s that needed to be updated. And to me, it makes me can't wait to play this game, to get it in my hands, because this was a game, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, and I think it was one more than two, was one of the games that if we ever had a conversation, Soapy, about games that like changed your life or like had a huge impact on you in your early development of playing games, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 was that, because yeah, that was 1999, and then Skater 2 was 2000. I would say both of these had the same effect. And I had both of these for PlayStation. Pro Skater I had on the PS1. It was a game that I would play for hours. Dave and I would play it. The levels were iconic. The skaters were iconic. The soundtrack was iconic. There are even like so many times I hear Suicide Tendencies, the band, and my brain just snaps back to not even the game itself, snaps back to the exact levels I would be playing in that game and kind of visually like where I would be in that level. So like seeing the demo makes me even more excited than I was that this game is being made and is coming out for us, remastered on the current gen of consoles.
Oh wait, sorry, what I zoned out.
Oh,
My bad.
you zoned out when I was basically talking my love for Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Well, no, I'm sorry, I was reading something. But I mean,
Basically, I
I
can't
played
wait
it.
for it. I can't wait.
Yeah, and that's something that with me, I've never really liked skateboarding games.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only one I really played was, I think it was Skate 3. It was actually like the only skateboarding game I've played, and that's
Mm-hmm.
not even because I was like, man, I want to play this to skateboard. I'm like, man, I want to play this to see how fucked up it actually is.
Yeah.
But
Go
it's
ahead.
something, I'm excited for it because I enjoy seeing my friends happy,
Mm-hmm.
and if this makes you happy, more power to it.
Yeah, I can't wait because like for me, obviously there's been a ton of Tony Hawk games. I basically made it through. Oh fuck! How far did I go? Um, I think I went all the way to either Underground or Underground 2, where Tony Hawk Pro Skater was 1999, 9-year-old Ricky. Pro Skater 2 then was 2010-year-old Ricky. 3 was 11 years old. 4 was when I was 12 years old. And then I think Underground was the last one I played, but I might have played Underground 2 as well. After that, I fell off the Tony Hawk bandwagon as other games kind of took me away from it. But I can't wait for it. This game was, like I said, Pro Skater 1 was one of the games that the levels are just so iconic. And whenever they, like, this is the thing with a remake too. Whenever they make a remake, your first thought is don't fuck it up. Because I'll say it this way. Nostalgia's a tricky bitch, Soapy. She's a tricky mistress. Where there are sometimes, it almost reminds me of like the How I Met Your Mother episode. Have you ever seen the glass shattering episode for How I Met Your Mother?
I believe so.
Where basically the whole point is they like point something out that you don't notice about someone, and then it's like a glass shattering effect of like, for example, one of the ones is that somebody chews loudly and you didn't notice it. And that's like, okay, now I fucking notice it because someone brought it up. That's what nostalgia does. Nostalgia is like sometimes we think back at things and we kind of hype them up more than they were. And I'm not saying this is a case of that. Pro Skater 1 to me, it was a good game. Did it have its glitches? Of course. Games back then always had its fucking glitches. It was like a new time of gaming. It wasn't necessarily NES new, but it still wasn't PlayStation 4 kind of gen gaming. And this is just something that I was worried at the beginning, like, please don't fuck this up. Please do not mess this up, because this is a game that means so much to me. But after seeing the demo, I don't think that is going to be the case. I can't wait to play this game. I can't wait to stream this game. I cannot wait to experience it. Yeah, right? Yeah, experience it with the MVP family, with you guys out there. So that's basically what I wanted to say about it and kind of gush about it. Also, the thing I think is kind of cool with it is that the mute grab in the game is no longer going to be called the mute grab. It's now going to be called the Weddle grab, because Tony wanted to. So this is from Polygon, is where I'm reading the article. Tony Hawk took to Instagram to explain the reasoning for the change, citing the inventor of the move. When the grab was originally named in 1981, it was debuted by Weddle, who is deaf. The trick was thusly named after the skater in a roundabout and ultimately mistaken way. The community at the time referred to him as the quiet mute guy. Hawk explained in a recent social media post. So it became known as the mute heir, and we all went along with it in our naive youth. As the years went by, Hawk continued to chat with Weddle, who still skates, about the trick and its origins. He has been very gracious in his response, and it is obviously that a different name would have honored his legacy, as he is hearing impaired but not lacking speech, Hawk said. So they're changing it from the mute air to the Weddle grab to still give him the basically like this is your move, but not basically have it to be where like it's improperly named. I think that's a great thing because it's basically honoring. It's not just honoring someone for a move that they're famous for. It's basically like this is the prime example of like, hey, this wasn't named right. We're going to change the name, but we're not going to take away what the original aspect of this move was and why it was named for what it was named.
Yeah, I mean it's a good reason to to name it after him, and it's just I only see that really as a positive. It's I don't really know how much of it affects anything, but it's always a nice little what's it called? I almost said common courtesy, but it's not that. It's like
No.
it's a nice gesture.
Yeah, gesture. That's what you're looking for. But Soapy, that's going to do it for Games Live today. If you're on YouTube and you're like, whoa, guys, this is not what I signed up for. This is a shorter episode. I apologize if you're mad. We had technical difficulties today. This was not a win for MVP in the live department, technical, like computer-wise. But good news is we should be ready to go tomorrow because since restarting my computer and restarting my router, Soapy, it's been all good. You know what? Okay. So I thought I forgot something, but I didn't. I was like, oh, shoot, I never put my thumbs up for the people of Spider-Man. But that was in the episode that wasn't aired because they couldn't even hear me. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Soapy will be back on not just Games Live, but Sports Live too. The technical issue should be solved. We haven't disconnected for about an hour and a half now since I did that. So knock on wood that that's not going to change. Soapy, I want to thank you for today. Today's been kind of a rough day, but you've been a trooper, kind of bearing through it with me. So I want to thank you for being the great co-host that you are, and kind of bearing the storm with me as we go through this life, which is MVP. But let us know what you guys think down below about anything we talked about today. Patreon.com/MVP vids. Join the Discord, link down below in the description. Podcast services coming soon. And I think that's it. Oh, if you're on YouTube, twitch.tv/MVP vids is where we record live around 5:30 or 6 between that time each and every day, Central Time, Monday through Friday. And if you ever miss it on Twitch, YouTube, MVP Entertainment is where you can catch it. I want to thank everyone for watching and listening. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Bye.